Hey friends, how you guys doing? Let's assemble our ported Echo CS590. This is my buddy Caleb's girlfriend's saw. Hey Taylor, how's it going? They asked if I could warm this thing up a bit, so let's do it. Just gonna get you guys in a little closer here. I already put the piston on. I'm gonna cut it right about here. There's thrust washers in this piston. I'll show you guys how I put them in. They can be a little tricky. Don't forget about them. They're supposed to be in there. That's an Echo thing. Anyhow, let's throw this thing back together and give it its first start. One thing I'm going to mention, when you guys build a saw, make sure that the piston is clean, and the cylinder, after you're done porting. I spend a lot of time washing and making sure that there is no grit or debris in the plating. If you leave any grit in there, you'll file the piston down. You'll wear your saw really fast. So make sure that you clean your cylinder. I do it in my wife's sink. She's nice enough to let me do that. If your wife's looking and she's cooking dinner and you got to wash one, do it in a bucket or yeah, make sure them cylinders are clean. Okay, now I'm going to blow this cylinder out before we install it, but I just wanted to let you guys know that that's an old engine building trick. I learned that years ago and it's never failed me. Okay, I'll cut right here to show you guys how to install the thrust washers. These Echoes, they have thrust washers on either side of the piston. You guys see that? See the little washer there and there? Don't mind my finger there. It's got some Moto Seal on it. Okay. The first one I got in no problem, but the second one. Now I remember old Donnie Walker. Hey there, Donnie. He told me there was a trick to this. I can't remember what he said though. But okay, I'm just gonna fish that through there, line it up with the hole. Okay. There we go. Push it through. Okay, don't forget about those thrust washers because they are kind of tricky and they're in there for a reason. We have our piston with the arrow facing forward. Have to put the ring groove, or the locator pin on pretty much all saws. I'm sure there's a few that maybe there isn't, is on the intake side. Okay, you don't want that in the exhaust because it can catch. So there's our ring. I'm going to bumble my way through the assembly of this saw because, to tell you the truth, I'm not super familiar. If I remember correctly, we put the cylinder on. I should watch my own video of the disassembly. Here's our intake manifold. The intake's very small on this saw. We'll put our intake manifold on the cylinder. Put that all back together, then we'll stick the handle on. Okay, I put the circlip in. One thing I'm going to do right here and now, a little dust there, one drop there just to make sure. Okay, let's put this top end on. I put the intake on. Okay, make sure my finger's clean. Take our Moto Seal. That's what I use. Used it for years. Never have I ever had a problem with it. So there's lots of good sealants. 1184, Durco, Yamaha Bond, Honda Bond, Suzuki has one. I can't remember what it's called. Something Star, I think it's called. The Iron Horse uses that. I've used quite a few different ones, and it's been my experience that they're all pretty much the same. I don't know if they are. They're the same color. They feel about the same. So I don't know if they are, but use whatever works for you. Anything that's for assembling cases on a motorcycle will do the trick here. Okay, just trying to keep this clean. I don't like sealant everywhere. Whatever, sometimes you get it in spots. Okay, I'm gonna put this here. Okay, now you guys are going to notice I did put the decomp back in the cylinder. I'm not sure if Taylor wants a decomp or not. I'll ask them. If they don't want one, I can always plug it. But I want this saw to be startable and usable. It's got, this thing has quite a bit of compression stock. Ported, because we raised the exhaust roof, we have lowered the static compression of the saw. That's just the way it works, right? Yeah, I build the saw to the customer. Whatever they want, that's what I'm going to do. Well, within reason, right? Person will be happier with the saw if you take into account what they cut, the bar length, all that stuff, species of wood. Okay. Now, take a little bit of oil, okay? Put a little bit on my fingertip. Rub the piston, front and back. Again, this just ensures that the first couple times you pull it over, you're not pulling it over dry. I don't know if that'll hurt anything, but I don't like the thoughts of that. That don't make me feel good, so. We do the things we do when we're building motors because it makes us, a lot of times it's stuff we've learned the hard way, and it just makes us feel like we're doing a better job or giving it a better chance. Again, ring goes to that side. Grab my ring compressor here. I don't even know if I'm going to need it. I'll probably just, you know what, friends, I'll just try without it. Okay, right here. Right there, boom, okay. I'm gonna go to the other side here. What are we hitting? Absolutely nothing, okay. Boom. Drop our bolts in. Make sure you guys can see me here. There we go. Drop our cylinder bolts in. I'm having a hard time lining this up. There we go. Just want to get them started. I'm actually anxious to get this thing running so that we know. I've never ported one of these, I've never run one, never been inside one. I like to do that on this channel. It's more exciting for me too, right? To learn along with you guys. Okay, give these a good torquing. Oh, we forgot one. That's fine. Okay, I torque this product down wet. I've never had a failure with this stuff. I rarely run base gaskets in my saws either. Like very rarely. I do have a lathe, so I can make adjustments where I need. Okay, there you go. Decomp. Turn it over, make sure everything's good. Everything's fine. Okay, let's continue on. I think I gotta put the handle on. I'm not sure where we go from here, friends. I got the kill switch here. So let me fumble around here a little bit. I'll get us some more forward progress. Definitely need to put the flywheel back on. So we're gonna, I don't think there's anything in the way. No. Flywheel back on, flywheel nut. I got nervous there for a minute. The flywheel was a little cocked there, so when I turned it over, it hit the coil. I was like, uh-oh. Is that the motor? Now again, I will put a rope in the combustion chamber and I will torque this saw down. Okay, I'm going to torque this nut down. I'll put a rope through here. I'm going to move a little forward here, friends, and just in the interest of time, and get this thing a little bit closer so that we can hear it run. Okay, here's our handle assembly. I'm just going to zoom you guys back out here a little bit. Okay, handle assembly. Remember that limiter screw right here, that stops the handle from moving too far. Okay, put this in. Now, don't forget your impulse hose. We've all done it. Who here's ever forgotten to attach an impulse hose? I certainly have. Okay, let's get this out of the way. Okay, there we go. That works. Okay, I got the handle assembly on. Limiter strap there. There's another mount here. These 2 bolts, and there's your limiter bolt, anti-travel bolt, whatever you want to call it. Let's put the carburetor on. There's a rubber grommet right here. That slides in sideways, so you got to move this out of the way. One wire goes to your kill switch. Just going to zoom you guys back here. One wire goes to your kill switch and into the block, and another one comes up through here, and that's your coil. Okay. Okay, carburetor. Now again, this is not a stock carb. It is a stock carb for a 620. Okay. Don't forget the little ring. I did that once on a Husqvarna 576, and believe me, pulled my hair out trying to figure out why the saw was going lean, and it was actually some guy named me forgot to put that ring in. There we go. Not sure exactly where all of this kind of stuff goes. I believe it goes that way. Okay, I got the fuel line on. I did spray all over me and I didn't get it on film. I apologize. I know you guys love that. That's my standard go fast move. Okay. Choke. Slide that in there this way. Okay, there's your choke. Now, I feel like I don't have the fuel line properly. Give me a second. Okay, fuel line wraps around the back, I reckon. Again, friends, I'm not always sure because sometimes it takes weeks or a month for me to get a saw done. So, okay. Right here. Here's your carb box. Sliding it into the rubber intake. This thing here, see it fits. Okay, sliding that back. Let's see if we can get this right on the first go. Carb screws. I love working on power saws. Is there anything more fun? Look at that, right in there. like showing you guys what I do too. It's fun, get a lot of good feedback, and it just spurs me to do more content because you guys give me ideas. I'm only one guy, and what's going on in my head is not always what you guys are interested in. And I mean, I still just kind of do my own thing, but it's good that to get all the feedback, because then if I didn't make my point in a video, we can always revisit things. Okay. Making sure you have throttle engagement. Push this back. This grommet is the death of me. There we go. We just have to fumble that. Fast idle works. Click. Okay. Rubber boot. I'm going to finish the assembly and then we can take this thing outside and fire it up. Okay, friends. We have a power saw. This thing actually wasn't that bad to put back together. As you can see, not as much compression as we had, because again, we raised the exhaust roof, but still, thump thump. Now, I'm going to say something. Don't be confused. When you first put a motor together and you put that assembly oil, that's going to jack your compression up. Okay? Sometimes you'll get a saw that's, you'll put it together, you'll put some oil in there and you'll pull it over and it'll be like thump, thump, and you'll go, wow. That's just from the oil. You get what I'm saying, guys? So this thing, it's more than acceptable. Remember, we raised the exhaust roof 10 degrees. Let's fire this thing up, then we'll take it outside and give it its first heat cycle. Live and in living color, friends. Let's get this thing going. I won't even, I broke my, I'm going to walk in front of you guys here. I broke my hearing protection yesterday laying underneath my Chevrolet. So I'm going to put my Faller's helmet on, because my ears aren't so happy. Okay, full choke. Again, I've never fired this thing. Ready? Okay, friends, we're gonna let this thing idle. It is nasty rich. I'm good with that. It's a little unhappy right now. I'll turn these carb screws and see what we got. Pretty cool. I'm gonna go heat cycle this thing. I'll meet you guys outside in a bit after it's run. Okay, friends, we've run this for about 15-20 minutes. Sits there and idles. Again, we can't test this saw till it goes in the wood, and I can't put it in the wood till it's fully heat cycled. I'll do a piston inspection. Let's give her a restart and see how she goes. How's the compression on this thing? This thing still has gobs of compression. Ready? Okay, friends. Well, Echo CS590. I'm happy. I can't wait to put this thing in some wood. I think we need to put a 24 on this thing now. Helps if the start switch is on. Well, this thing's definitely zippy now. It's got good throttle response, starts and runs easy. It does run rich with an Echo carb, but that's just what Echoes do. I want to show you guys what you can do with a little porting and off-the-shelf parts. As always, thanks for watching. Take her easy. Later, guys.